Welcome back, terrestrials. Before we start, thanks to all the new subscribers. Keep it coming, keep the comments coming. Um, but in this episode, we're doing 2005's House of Wax.
That's hot. That's hot. That's really hot.
Now we've been on our remake journey. This one was debatable whether it was going to get on the list or not.
Right.
But I think we all know why this one's on the list. So let's slide into it. Jerry, would you grade this movie?
A D.
A D.
A
Interesting.
D.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely threw this at like a C plus.
Okay.
Yeah. So why a D? Why
I got bored. I got real bored. Real like and like I know it takes a minute to get to the house made of wax,
Mhm.
but I was just getting real bored real quick with like everything.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't like anything in particular, you know. It was like I didn't start the movie out problematic. Like I don't want to watch this or anything. No, I was ready to go full force into this,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, this is boring. I mean, there's some cool things in it that I really liked, but it wasn't, more than what I was hoping. So,
Okay.
why do you give it a C?
Because it wasn't that bad. I think that this was a good effort.
Okay. No,
But
you're
all
giving
right.
them a C for effort.
Well, I am giving him a C plus. I'm not going to give it a B.
Right.
That's
No,
that's not cool.
it's not a B
Um,
tier.
so all right, let's look at it like this. The first quarter of the movie before Supernatural and Girlface get into town,
Okay.
it's all pretty much your stereotypical slasher style, like, oh, we're partying, we're
Right.
camping, we're
Going to the football game.
right, they're going to a football game, but
Right.
it's that, like, we're camping, we're partying, we're drinking, blah blah blah, and then the next day we see them having to go into town, and then
Yeah.
that's like the middle act of, like, things are building. They go to the church, they meet Bo, blah 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 blah. So I looked at it in three parts like that, and we see, like, now granted I've seen this movie before.
Really hot. That's hot. That's hot.
The opening of, like, from the 1950s or whatever, that immediately, even on the first go, I was like, well, yeah, no, he's the bad one.
Right.
Like, it's not the guy in the mask that's the bad one.
Is
He's
that the plot for Tourist Trap? I haven't seen Tourist Trap in years.
It's been a long time since I've seen Tourist Trap.
But isn't Tourist Trap about like two twins that are
Were they twins in Tourist Trap? I
I
thought that was just
because when I'm watching it and that's the reveal, you know?
right, right.
I'm like, isn't that Tourist Trap? Did they secretly do a Tourist Trap remake, but named it House of Wax?
Okay, so but there was a House of Wax from 1953.
Right, right. But
So if
this has
Tourist Trap,
nothing compared
right,
to House of Wax from
right,
1953 with Vincent Price.
right. But if Tourist Trap had a twin situation, then it would have been stealing from the original House of Wax.
Right. Keep talking. I'm gonna find Tourist Trap because I haven't seen
It's like
Tourist Trap in years.
1981.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I let me know if that number is right, 1981. I don't remember a twin. I remember a white mask, and that might have something to do with why I'm thinking that.
Right.
But yeah, so anyways, House of Wax, they're moving they get into this town, seemingly normal town.
79.
1979. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's close. Um but yeah, so they move they get into this town. They're looking for, part for the car, whatever. It looks like a quaint little, like, off the map style town.
Yeah, small
Everything
little town.
looks nice, it's cool. The settings are nice. The deer dispensary was really cool too. Um,
The fucking the roadkill pit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty brutal. But it's like everything up until they get into town is just like, come on, let's go. Yeah, I don't care about the sex. I don't care. I don't care about Chad Michael Murray's fucking attitude the whole entire time. Like, we get it. He's cool.
Right.
The coolest part of that whole thing was when he stood up and threw that bottle and hit that headlight, because that was impressive fucking accuracy, because he wasn't even facing the truck. He just stood up, turned around, and chucked that thing. That's ridiculous accuracy. Yeah,
Then
this
again, that guy didn't
this
help.
review's going to hell. Um, was there a twin in Tourist Trap? Let's just
It didn't
review Tourist
say. It
Trap.
wasn't like I looked at the plot and
Yeah,
shit and fucking now I'm just going to have to go back and fucking
watch
watch
Tourist Trap.
Tourist Trap
I don't
because my
think. No, no, no. I think what it was his wife did something and she died, and he turned her into her creation,
maybe
and he continued her legacy by
I don't know.
making mannequins out of people, I think. So it
There
wasn't
were
wax,
mannequins,
it was
yeah,
mannequins.
right.
But yeah. So anyways, that's
So let's
Tourist
talk
Trap.
about Paris Hilton. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
talk about Paris Hilton because this is the selling fucking point of the movie because if you've
right.
seen the
Yeah, yeah.
trailer or
Yeah.
anything like it,
The
this is
poster, yeah.
Paris Hilton's first movie. Was she
No,
good?
no, it wasn't.
Was she bad?
One Night in Paris was her first movie.
Well, yeah, I
Um
know, but like the first movie you can see in the theater
oh,
or
okay.
whatever.
Yeah. No, I don't really have an opinion on her
No,
in this movie. I don't think that she added anything. I don't think she
no,
really hurt anything. I think that her
no.
deliveries were very lackluster, but that was her personality at the time. That's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
how she was. And they were really playing to, this is Paris Hilton. Look at Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton, right.
They even and I didn't realize it at the time, but now that I'm older, I recognize when he's shoving that camera in her face and she's saying like, would you leave that fucking camera alone? That was what she said in One Night in Paris.
Yeah,
So
it
it
was
was
digs
just,
it.
yeah, it was just playing on itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she,
I wonder if they had to get that okayed in the script before they
I
wrote
mean,
it.
I'm sure that she had to say it, or she didn't recognize it and it just went by. Like
Right.
she didn't think about it, you know what I mean? Maybe after the movie came out, she was like, them motherfuckers. But in filming, she probably didn't think
All
about
right.
it. Because if they would have done it from like an outside view of him with the camera showing, but the only reason it was like that is because they were showing the camera's view of her, and she didn't know that that's how that was going to play out.
Right.
She might have thought like they were going to film it somehow else.
But,
But anyways,
but yeah. Paris Hilton. It's like, okay, we're gonna see Paris Hilton's acting career. And it was like it does nothing for the movie other than get people in the seats to see, okay, either A, this is going to be a horrible bomb, or B, we're going to like, oh my God, she's better than Meryl Streep or something. And it was just like,
uh
next.
didn't weren't you the one that told me that when she died, everybody in the theater cheered?
No, that wasn't me. This is
Oh,
like one of the first times I've ever seen this movie.
oh really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. This is
I
like
saw it
one of
when
the
it
first
came out
times.
because I at that time I was
No.
like, okay, cool. Like, Paris Hilton's in a fucking movie. Like it's, so it's a new horror movie. All right, cool.
Right.
But yeah.
House of Wax, I had already like fooled me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me three times. Fuck, you're just not gonna fool me anymore. I'm not gonna go to the theater and see these goddamn remakes anymore because I'm fucking tired of getting fucking bamboozled in the fucking theater.
Right.
And by the time that this came out, we're not at the tail end of remakes.
No.
We're like right in the middle of this like What else can we remake?
I would
Like,
honestly say that this is towards the front of the pack because this
yeah,
is 2005.
yeah,
So we've still got, 2000, we still got Dawn of the Dead, we still got Nightmare, we still got Friday, and
right,
then, countless others. So this is kind of almost towards the front of the 2000s remakes.
yeah,
Um, but this one also, nobody knew House of Wax was a movie before this. This
right.
was before this was before people realized that they were remaking movies. People thought that these were all original movies. And then somebody like 20 years later, like, guys, no, the Thing was actually, that's the third time this is the fourth time it's been remade now.
Yeah,
Like, that kind of thing. And I mean, I wasn't privy to the House of Wax original before this.
but
I saw this before I
this,
saw the original.
yeah, this is doing okay. It's by the Robert Zemeckis company that did House on Haunted Hill, and then this,
Yeah,
and they were going about on the right idea. Take an obscure movie from long
right,
ago
right,
that nobody knows and
right,
try to put a modern spin on it.
right.
The problem is that the modern spin on it just kind of feels like I've seen these movies a million bajillion times before. At the beginning, it feels like Wrong Turn or Cabin Fever, or you know, it just has that same flavor
Yeah,
in the movie, and my brain's just going like, okay, okay, like compared to, let's say, like The Thing, which will always be like one of the greatest remakes,
yeah. If not
where
the greatest.
huh?
If not the greatest.
Yeah, if not, I would argue that or The Fly, you know. Um,
Okay, I would go The
you want to
Thing.
do this now? You want to do this now? Fucking
Well, we already talked about Tourist Trap for
yeah,
10
fucking
minutes,
yeah.
so
Fuck
um
Tourist Trap.
no,
Don't watch it. Who gives a shit and stuff. I
no,
will
no.
say though that
Love Tourist Trap.
the fucking
Did you not like Tourist Trap?
oh, Tourist Trap. No, fucking I meant House of Wax.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, yeah.
I meant House of Wax.
I was
Sorry,
going to say,
fucking.
I thought Tourist Trap was really good. Wait, what happened here?
I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah, go
which
ahead.
writer on this movie was like, oh, the house has to be wax because it's called House of Wax. And like nobody like ever corrected them, being like, see, back in the day, there used to be these things called wax fucking museums, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was all right. So let's talk about positive things
Okay,
for
positive. Yeah,
whatever,
let's get
for whatever.
positive with it.
Yeah, because we can shit on this movie all day. Um, the the whole setup is great. Not like the setup of the movie, but like the setup that the brothers have
Mhm.
is great.
The little
Um,
town.
the town,
I like that idea.
the automation that's in the town,
Mhm.
everything. It works very, very well. It's very, very creepy. It's the amount of detail and the amount of effort that went into this scheme that
Mhm.
they have, or that I guess technically Bo had, um, is phenomenal.
Mhm.
That all that I loved. Like when they get in there and they go to the church and he's, praying or whatever, and then he comes outside and he's like, ruined the
Interrupt a
funeral.
funeral for a
Yeah,
fan belt.
yeah. And then goes back in, comes back out. Like all that was wonderful. It was great. It was great setup. They telegraph everything. You can see where it's going
Mhm.
from a mile away. But it still worked. It still looked good. It was still creative.
Yeah.
And then the House of Wax idea, it became redundant. Granted, yeah, the town's made out of wax, whatever, but the title of the movie is House of Wax. They show the House of Wax like 15 times, like the on the outside, the name of the
Mhm.
building, and then they refer to the House of Wax. They're like it just, I was like, we fucking get it. Like
Yeah.
it, you know, but the whole entire place being made out of wax, that was
It
That was
was
great. That was,
it was
to
great.
me, it
Must
was
be
great.
the coldest fucking town in the world. Like there's a geographical like anomaly that takes place there to make sure that shit don't melt.
Right. Well, who knows what they're mixing with the
Right.
wax? It could make some sort of hardener, like
So,
almost an epoxy. It didn't, but because we see at the end, but um and I had seen this movie before and I forgot all about the third brother. Or I forgot all about that guy being the third brother. And I was just like, for some reason, as it was like as they got into the ambulance, I for some reason thought that the ambulance driver was the third brother.
yeah.
Like it dawned on me at that point. I was like, oh, he's the ambulance driver. And then you see him like wave and you're like, oh, never mind, it's that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
Fucking I will definitely praise some of the gore and the kills in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Some.
definitely the finger chop. That
Yeah,
was
that
like,
shit was
oh,
brutal.
oh.
Yeah.
Fucking I don't know if it's true, but I was watching like some people talk about this movie and they were saying that the girl wanted to use real super glue. Fucking when they super glue her mouth shut.
She a fucking masochist? No.
Maybe.
That's
Fucking
ridiculous.
yeah. It's gonna look real, you know. It's like, no, just close your mouth. Fucking
Ugh.
fucking but I don't know if it's 100% true. I would like
Yeah.
to know. Like I'd
I
like
It
to like
wasn't real glue though. I can tell you
no,
that much.
no.
But yeah, I mean, that was also like gluing the lip shut. There was a lot of creativity in some
No.
of these kills. Paris Hilton, that was really brutal. That was cool. Um,
No.
Cutting the dude's head off by shoving cutting Dalton's head off with the knives like this, in that X pattern. That was cool. The glue in the lips, the finger, that shit, like both
The
of those
finger.
bothered me.
Like where they're
Um,
trying to peel the
yeah,
wax off of their one friend
yeah,
and like it just starts
supernatural.
ripping the face.
Yeah,
Like the actual face like rip when they finally like rip off of this.
yeah,
That looked a little like
yeah,
CG,
yeah.
kind of feel to it. Obviously, you can't get that, prosthetic like that. But what I really liked was while he's sitting there, the face is totally motionless except the eyeballs. The
Mhm,
eyeballs are just jotting left and right for
mhm.
panic. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
I
and you still
enjoy
see it.
that.
You still see the tear duct work with crack.
Right.
The when they're covering Supernatural with wax,
Mm,
I was like the whole setup of the like cauldrons with the fire and all that stuff. That wasn't that wasn't like it was okay. I was like, oh, that's whatever.
hmm
But when they're spraying him down with it, it's like I've been burned by candle wax millions of times.
Right.
It doesn't really bother me in a small amount. Like
Yeah.
I can dip my fingers in the candle wax and be okay. But the
hmm
idea of it like in the ear crevices or like in like the sensitive parts of your bodies and like your eyelids and your nostrils and stuff, that I was just like, oh, not to mention his balls and shit, but like I was just like, oh,
I think
that's
after the
rough.
first go around, your nerves are singed. So,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
it's like you've been burned. It's basically a chemical burn. So, then again,
Yeah.
I don't. Um, but yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Also, the scene where he like reaches up and snips his Achilles
Oh yeah,
with the
yeah, that
scissors. I was
was
like, ooh,
that. Anytime fucking like an Achilles heel is cut in a movie,
yeah,
that's automatic. Like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, like Pet Cemetery. I'll watch that whole movie just to see that one, like where Gage fucking
What's
cuts
his name? What did
his
you say?
name.
Cage?
No, I said Grage,
Grage?
G
Grange.
R A
Gran.
G E,
It's
or
Grange, right?
or Mage. He's
Mage.
Mage. Yeah,
Yeah,
M
it's
A
Nage.
G
It's
E
probably
Mage.
Nage. But yeah, yeah, that shit's fucked up.
Friggin', but yeah, when that little boy
Yeah.
cuts Fucking Herman Munster's fucking Achilles heel.
Yeah,
The fucking
yeah.
it's just always like, oh god damn.
It got me again with Paris Hilton when she was on the like the scaffolding or whatever
Mm,
in the thing, and he like sticks that knife up through her finger or through her foot. I
yeah.
was just like, ah, god damn it! Like that sudden, like I don't know, it's something about the suddenness of it that just it I don't know. But the scene was funny watching him pretend to be in the dark when he clearly wasn't in the dark. They
Right.
just blacked everything out around him and
Yeah.
he had to pretend to be in the dark. But
Like, oh,
yeah,
I can't see anything. Yeah, if
yeah.
we
But yet
put it
you
in
can
the
still see
dark, we wouldn't see
color,
anything. Yeah.
you can see color. And it's 2005. I'm not
Right.
saying the technology didn't exist, but I'm saying this movie didn't have the budget for it. So,
I
yeah,
don't
maybe the
think
military had that kind of money, but
it didn't have the budget, but I think it didn't have the confidence either that it was going to do anything. I think
I mean,
the
shit.
production and the company knew like some people will go to this. That's why I think Paris Hilton was brought in. Like, oh, if we put Paris Hilton, that's a name. Because
Mhm.
other than like fucking Supernatural,
Right.
name
Mm.
wise,
Chad Michael Murray.
yeah. I mean,
Chad
I
Michael
don't know.
Murray and Supernatural.
Right. So the names in this aren't really strong, which is, positive. So,
Yeah, yeah. I
but
mean, at that time, I think uh Chad Michael Murray was popular. I think that um obviously Paris Hilton was. I think that that would but even Supernatural wasn't, you
mhm,
know, popular at this time. He wasn't famous.
right.
Um but we all know that that the idea of having unknowns or like very not like not, A-listers in horror movies
Right.
does actually typically a formula to win.
Yeah.
This one just didn't win. Um, I mean, they spent what 40 million on it and it only made 70. So it didn't even double its money back.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I was looking for the
Um,
actual spending price. Yeah, 40 million made 70 million. So when it says the budget was 40 million, you double that automatically for like advertisements. So they spent 80 million dollars on this movie and they basically lost 10 million dollars on that movie.
yeah,
What
which is
company uh
this was Dark Castle.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, thought I saw Dark Castle.
Dark Castle may be in the production of it. I think that's the Zemeckis thing, but I guarantee you, like Warner Brothers was the parent company
Huh.
to put all the money. I'm trying to look for the poster and see.
It's the picture of Paris Hilton slowly melting.
I was trying to see if who got top bill, but they gave all
Yeah, they gave
a
everybody
bunch of
across the
names,
yeah.
but yeah, there
Let's
is
talk
no
about that
difference.
hilariously 2000s soundtrack.
Do we have
Fucking
to?
Deftones to start. That was cool.
Yeah.
Then you got some like Interpol, some Disturbed, some fucking My Chemical Romance to finish. Um,
No.
it was just funny. It's like, they at that time, obviously we know from, Freddy vs. Jason and stuff, they were really pumping music
Yeah.
into these movies, but only using like 10 seconds of it, unless
Yes.
it's House on Haunted Hill and you beat Marilyn Manson to death.
Okay.
Um,
Not the first movie to do it, not the last, probably.
no, because he was
You
in
know,
this movie too.
yeah. I
That's what he started playing when he took Carly downstairs
yeah,
at the
like
station.
the soundtrack, I think, is just another form of product that you can put out for a movie. A la The Matrix, which I believe is still like one of the highest grossing like soundtracks of the
Yeah,
I don't know, It's good.
Let's see.
Everybody had the fucking Matrix soundtrack. But so I think it's like, oh yeah, we put those, get those copyrights in there for the music. We can put out an album and basically make our money back through that, like a soundtrack or score can be really influential in like getting those extra dollars. Like this movie, House of Wax did, where they threw a bunch of pop songs.
Oh, I forgot we were doing this.
Yeah, yeah. I went. Nothing cut. Nothing
No,
cut.
yeah, don't cut anything. This is all fun.
Yeah,
Nobody watches our shit anyway. Um,
but I want like, I mean,
we also need to take into account that none of these lists have Baby Driver on them.
all right,
That movie was all music
right.
and good fun music. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because I
whatever.
mean, the guy who did Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim, and I mean, look at fucking Shaun of the Dead. As same, they got soundtrack on there that's like really popular. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacob, would you go see this movie in the theater?
No,
You wouldn't?
no.
I wonder if I saw it in the theater, it would change my opinion a little bit. Like seeing that shit like up close with good sound, maybe it would change just
Nah.
something about this,
I just think I'm
Like,
gonna have nightmares about being chased around by Peter Steele in a house of wax all night, because that's all I could think throughout the entire movie. I was like, "That's Peter Steele,
yeah.
just plain white face with long black hair." Like
That actually
th-
sounds like a great time, hanging
yeah,
out with Peter Still,
that would have
you
been
know,
cool. Yeah, that would
you
have been
know.
cool.
Unless he sits there and talks like Dracula the whole time and stuff, fucking like
Yeah,
oh, this is from the fucking. What did you say, Peter? Fucking. I love typo negative, so I
yeah, I
can't
love
talk shit
typo
on
negative.
Peter
Yeah.
Steele. Fucking. You want a physical copy of this?
No, I had to rent this.
No, I
I
don't
gave
either.
this movie $3.99.
Is this a cult classic?
No, no, not at
No.
all. No,
If all right, what did it better, the original or the
the
remake?
original, no
The
question.
original.
Yeah,
Do you think if they would have stuck to the original idea of a body snatcher making like corpses into wax figures,
I
it
think
would
that
have
that
been a
would have
little bit
been.
more intense and like not then he starts like I need live subjects or
I think
subjects.
that the original just nailed it. I think that if they would have tried to touch that,
Um,
it would have failed. They failed anyways, but at least they tried to take it in a new direction.
they
And I
tried,
don't
so I'm saying.
mind the idea of the twin concept with, one being disfigured, so he wears the
Oh yeah.
mask and stuff. All that stuff, like it's cool. I get all that, and I liked it. I just think it was a poor execution.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that, like I said, I can see this being like really good, like the small parts in this movie, but once you put it all together, it's just kind of like mushy. It's mushy, you know? No. And that
Mm,
premise from it is pretty decent. But is it decent enough to give this a better review? No.
no,
No, not at all.
I mean we talked about everything but this fucking movie. So